It's just because you're so focused on solving the thing and building the thing, you just go.
Started working, I actually did struggle in my career a lot. I should say at least that I still struggle a lot at work, big time. It's just that one, I have a lot of self-compassion towards myself, so don't really beat up myself about it. But to the point of strengths, I think hyperfocus is a strength of many of the ADHD folks that I've spoken to as well. And now I'm able to leverage it better. For example, most of my work days are structured such that I have like 1 to 2 hours of hyperfocus every morning where I do my best quality work. And even if I do nothing else, because many days I may not do really anything else, I may just be like doing meetings and calls and all, but that is enough to propel my work forward.
I think for us who have ADHD, the way we work is not the regular burn, right? So these people, a lot of us, we go high energy level and you have this slightly deflationary. For us, it peaks, and then we take that and then we trough very fast, and then we kind of, and the mental exhaustion that comes after that is quite tremendous. I'm not talking about just on a daily basis. So I used to be a software developer, and my record is 108 hours without sleep, right? And it wasn't because I didn't want to sleep. It wasn't because I'm trying to break a record. It's just because you're so focused on solving the thing and building the thing, you just go. And so the biggest challenge is actually pacing ourselves, because when you're hyper-focused, you accelerate. When we accelerate, we're like marathon runners trying to run a sub 2 hour marathon, right? We go at a very, very fast pace, and it takes a longer time to recover. Whereas the smarter marathon runners will go, let's go gradual burn, right? We pace ourselves, and so they can last.
But now on the flip side, I think what has definitely changed over the years is I actually don't try to do things. I leave things to last minute because I think I will do great as long as I've set aside time. I don't let other things creep into my calendar. In theory, there can always be some emergency and I may end up then missing out. But what I have actually done is, after struggling a little bit from this thing of doing last minute, not doing that well and all, is actually carving out that window to say I have something due. I mean, I struggle all the time. There's some administrative things that I miss out a lot in terms of paperwork and so on. There are tools that I've become better equipped to handle, like having simple to-do lists. And I make it a point to at least every other day or a few days I go back to that list, so it's not missing altogether. So those things do help.
What are the hacks or strategies do you have like to overcome some of these?
I guess that's why I started really going into endurance sport. The way I structure my life is by a Google Calendar. I plan everything by the hour or by blocks, and I even regulate my training schedule. So it's not like, oh, I feel like going for a run, I go. So it's very regimental. Like every day I'm up at like 4:30 or 5 o'clock, and then it follows a process. And I even put rest as a planned thing, and I follow it extremely strictly. And I realized that when I was younger, I used to think that would have come off as a little bit rude. But sometimes if you don't take care of yourself, you end up being subproductive anyway. It's not gonna help you in any way. So. And it's helped a lot, because then whenever I feel like I'm getting a little bit lost again, I look at my calendar and say, okay, everything's in place. When everything's in place, because we can be quite unstructured, I can be quite unstructured. When I put structure to it and I force structure, it kind of takes this burden away from me. It's like, okay, everything is just follow, right? Just follow, and you know there are certain things that you need to hyperfocus and things don't need to hyperfocus. And I think that's where it gets really, really, for me, that has been one of the biggest hacks. And that's how I've done it for the past 4 years, maybe.
So like that, there's so many actually productive things as well. Like I started a journaling habit a few years ago. It's not something that I would naturally aspire to do, but then I made it a habit doing it while sipping my morning coffee. Morning coffee was something I enjoyed. So just by clubbing the two together, one, it automatically gets happened most of the days. Also paired something which is mildly administrative, but also doing it with something that is nice. So I think all these kind of hacks for routine throughout the day actually take away the pain of all the things that otherwise would be difficult to do.